big old bosoms.
Right off the bat.
Biggies.
A little alliteration there for you.
So what's new with you guys?
So, wow, great to be back here on the date that it is.
Yeah, back in the podcast.
Let's talk
podcast
about
studio.
Feeding your cat sardines.
Bro, it's awesome.
That's like, I don't know why, but that just seems funny to me. That
It's a whole
like,
ass sardine.
Of course, cats like fucking sardines.
The cat goes berserk for it. At first, she didn't know what they were. Like, I was like, Wicket, here's the sardine. She's like, what the fuck is this? Because she doesn't eat like a full animal, right? She eats like a little chunk of kitty kibble.
Kitty goo.
And then I give her, and she's like, oh, it smells so good, but...
What do I do with this?
Yeah.
I feel like if I was a cat, I'd want to eat sardines.
Oh, after she figured it out, now she's like addicted to them and goes berserk.
I'm not even a cat, and I eat sardines sometimes.
They smell kind of gross.
Have you ever had the one that's like in mustard sauce?
No, that's disgusting.
Or the ones with jalapeno peppers in them? They're great.
We played in Spain, and they gave us sardines. They had like
dried cat sardines.
Yeah, so like we all went out to eat with the promoter, and then the what do we call it, like an appetizer was like chips basically.
Yep.
And sardines, and the sardines were like, they were like, try them. They were like, you're not gonna like them, but try them. I tried one. I was like, fuck this sucks.
What did it taste like?
Just it tastes like the
sardine.
smell. It tastes like the smell of fish plus salt, and it's just like, oh.
Okay. Have you guys ever tried the Swedish thing? I probably don't say it properly. Solströmming?
Was it lutefisk?
No, it's fermented, canned fermented fish.
I think that's lutefisk too.
And it's like, dude, you just open it. All you got to do is open the can, and it clears the room. It's so bad.
I think I saw a video on Reddit of two guys. They're like in the back of a bus or something, and the one guy opens it, like a can of whatever it is, and then he just starts puking.
Oh, I believe it.
Nice.
It's real bad.
Just real nasty.
It's real bad. That's a good thing. If we ever do a podcast in Sweden, we should eat Solströmming on.
That'll be the
podcast.
mukbang episode.
That'll be the barf episode.
Yeah, nasty fish in Sweden.
I think they pickle it with ammonia or something.
Oh, probably.
Something that you can't eat.
Tastes like they pickle it with piss.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things where it's like, who even bothered to figure this out?
Right.
Was it like an accident, or was it like someone was like, wait,
rotting shark?
I've got an idea.
Rotting shark, bud.
No, that's definitely a Viking thing. It's like,
could have been.
How can we eat
the
this?
things that we're not supposed to ingest? That's what we're going to make our food with.
I feel like a lot of these weird foods probably came from times when like war times, when people were like, they were limited to what they could get their hands on to eat. There's also this thing in Japan called natto that is famous for foreigners not liking. The real weebos, though, they're like, I'm gonna be the foreigner who can eat this, and they even if they don't like it, they pretend they do or whatever. But this natto, it's fermented soybeans, and they're fermented to the point where if you grab a bunch and you pull them up, it's got the strings, like the rot strings.
Oh,
and it's supposed to be, apparently it's really healthy, like it's good gut bacteria and stuff. It's supposed to be really healthy, but the smell is horrible. And to me, it looks like, it's like, you throw something away in the garbage. Like, say you threw away some beans or whatever in the garbage, and you waited about a week, and then when you picked them out of the garbage, they were all stringy. To me, that's exactly what it's like. But anyway, this stuff's super popular in Japan. A lot of people like it, but...
Sounds gross.
Oh, man, it smells horrible. But I feel like something like that probably came from, it was a time where, like, they didn't really have anything to eat. So somebody's like, well, I got these rotten beans.
What about you? Do you like them?
Me, I don't like them, no. If you mix them in with a couple of specific types of food, I can handle it, but I would prefer not.
Is that like on the way to making soy sauce? Isn't soy sauce fermented soy or some shit?
Well, soy sauce is from soybeans. I don't know how they make it, though, if it's fermented or not. I don't know.
I've
never made a soy sauce in my life.
I feel like this is super entertaining, listening to four guys that are
Talk about
fairly
groceries.
culturally ignorant about food. Be like, oh, is this how you make that? Is it fermented?
No, give the people what they want.
Yeah, they want to hear about
they want
soy
to
sauce.
eat it.
They want to see.
They want to see our
wanna
reaction
see it.
of us
True.
eating.
Not just talking about it.
Well, I saw this guy on Instagram. I don't know. I get blessed on my Instagram feed all the time by random bullshit. But like he was talking about how you shouldn't eat any plants because they're like designed to like the plant wants you to eat a certain part and that's like the fruit, right?
Okay.
And like everything else, like leaves and then all that stuff, the plant doesn't want you to eat it, so it's got stuff in it to like kind of fuck you up so that you will stop eating it.
Right, like rhubarb leaves are supposed to be real bad for you or something.
Yeah, so then his argument is there's a little bit of this in all of this different stuff, like kale, all that shit. And then he's like, I was intrigued. So I was like, I got to see what else this guy's on. And then he like scrolled through, and then he's like, yeah, here's me eating like a bull testicle. And I was like, oh, okay. This guy's,
what?
he's one of these guys.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I eat like raw liver and bullshit. And I'm like, ah, fuck this.
Like, not the leaves.
I mean, like, I don't know. Maybe he's onto something, but I feel like probably he isn't. And he's just like a whack job on fucking Instagram.
Yeah.
Being like, I'm
He's
so
totally
healthy.
listening right
A
now.
whack job on Instagram? No.
Doesn't exist.
But I mean, it worked. You clicked the
Yeah, I didn't
his
buy
video
anything
and
from him,
watched
though.
other
There
stuff.
you
So
go.
I guess I gave him views.
you're the problem.
Oh,
You're supporting the Cringe Olympics.
Yeah, we should talk about that. Like another thing that I keep getting blessed with on my timeline is fucking dudes singing like Viking hymns and shit, and it's just like so cringy. I feel like Viking songs or whatever.
Like, we're not talking actual singers doing this. We're like, I'm assuming just like
Well,
neck,
I mean, I think
neckbeards.
like the one dude I keep seeing, I think is like a singer.
Okay.
But he's like, I don't know. It's like the Viking songs and then like Nickelback covers and like all this shit. And it'll be like, I'm just like, man, what? Why did Instagram's algorithm be like, who's going to love this? Fucking this guy. But I keep watching that shit, and Tim keeps.
So they're not wrong.
Tim keeps.
There you go. They got
Tim
you,
keeps
dude.
telling me to stop because it's like, yeah, I guess I'm cursing my own timeline with that shit.
Cringe Olympics. You're addicted to it.
I love watching that shit. Actually,
Yeah, I mean, Catatonic Youths is like one of the best.
that's like a top Instagram page. It's so funny.
It's so good.
It's basically all of Dan's Instagram is catatonic youth
It's just cringe shit, nonstop. Well, that's just the stuff that I forward to you.
Is that where the sauce on feet thing came from?
No, that's early YouTube.
Yeah, that's pretty old, isn't it?
I mean, I didn't find that. Someone showed that to me, so
Yeah.
I didn't like.
No, you
there
were
was
searching.
There was no
Someone.
algorithmic process that showed me a guy putting hot sauce on his feet.
There was some pretty bad
Sure.
early YouTube stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The YouTube hole is endless.
Yeah. In the early days of YouTube, there's some good old classics. You guys remember Willy Bum Bum?
Oh, that was dumb.
You guys never saw? I like that
hated
song. Alright. I thought the animations were great.
Willy Bum Bum.
Yeah, Willy Bum Bum.
Was that
Check it out.
55 guy?
I don't know. I got a little Willy. I put it in my bum. That one.
Cut that out. Just cut that part out.
Oh yeah, that's
Me
a
and my
clip.
bum have all kinds of fun. Well, I didn't make it up.
That's gonna go in the supercut that Chris has.
Saying sus stuff.
Speaking of Chris,
Oh
we talking
yeah,
about that?
It's your boy.
He gone.
he
gone.
We decided we didn't like that particular version of bald guy in the band.
We needed somebody balder.
Yeah.
Someone with less hair.
Yeah. Kept telling Chris to get a haircut, and he wouldn't.
Got those sideburns.
Fuck, man. I thought for sure my feet were going to be in the shot. So I wore two different colored socks.
Aw.
You always.
There's
do
the
that.
thing does anybody actually care about,
What?
do you think less of someone when you see them wearing
Absolutely.
two different socks?
No.
Look at
Like, so
this.
these are of the same pack, but they're two different ones.
Well, you know
No,
what's
you're fucking-
important?
it's not
to
like
me?
it's two different brands.
So we're done talking about Chris, eh?
Yeah, that was it.
We moved on. We moved on
moved
from
past
Chris
it.
to socks.
Oh yeah,
He's
so
like doing
so
that
Chris
anyway.
is leaving.
Yeah.
He's leaving the band. He's moving
What
on.
kind of socks does he wear?
He's moving on to more successful pastures in his new
It's gonna be great.
job endeavors, which is cool. What is your favorite Chris moment?
Oh man.
Mine is when he used to make fun of me for my toe shoes, and then he went and got.
Toe shoes.
He didn't get toe shoes,
He
but
did
he
get toe
got
shoes.
soleless shoes which are the same thing as toe shoes.
I would say they're not exactly the same as toe shoes. There's
both
a big
soleless.
leap from a regular looking shoe that has a different sole to one that fucking goes around your toes.
We're having
Toe
a
shoes
real
rule.
hard time keeping off of feet.
Hot sauce on feet.
It's just a thing.
Yeah, get the feet counter going in the.
Yeah.
Ding,
God.
ding.
Well, I got a good tangent to talk about feet. We can go back to that after everybody completes
We'll
their.
come back to Chris in a
stories.
minute.
Okay.
Oh, are we doing Chris stories with you guys or continuing on with feet?
Chris-
Well,
Stories.
I think we could jump back onto feet for a second, and then go back, and then make sure we get all the feet out of us first, and then we can
That will never happen.
The endless
Chris
well of
thing properly.
foot topics.
Okay, well, my foot tangent is last night I was on Reddit, obviously, but there was a post in the Edmonton subreddit, and somebody asked, like, how much money do you make and where do you work? And so, guess what the top 3 answers were?
OnlyFans. That's it. 3 times.
Okay, so the top person was a doctor who made like
Oh, okay.
$250,000 to a year to $300,000 or whatever. But then the next 2 people were OnlyFans workers. They were like, yeah, the one guy, the one person, he was a guy apparently, and he's like, oh yeah, I don't work anymore because my girlfriend makes like $12,000 a month on OnlyFans. Then the other person was like, yeah, I make $250,000 a year on OnlyFans. It's just like, damn, that's a lot of feet pics. So it's I assume they sell feet pics.
Maybe.
That's sweet.
Could
Well, I
be a
gotta
little
call
more
my
than
wife.
that, but
They probably do a little bit more than feet pics, but
Like toes specifically.
yeah, toes, ankles, maybe
toe
shins.
specific.
Yeah.
I don't want
I
to see
can
those
afford
other
it, yeah.
toes. I only want to see that one fucking
just
The more,
one at a time.
the moral of the story is Chris is now selling feet pics on OnlyFans.
Yeah, it's more lucrative. I have a foot story. This is a real one. We were playing at a festival, old band. This was before Striker. We were playing a festival, and I, for some reason, had this, like, it was one of the Halloween feet that you get. You know, like the joke foot that you put, like, sticking out of a door, so
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
someone's
yeah.
laying there or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
had one of these things, and we had a few drinks, and we were walking around the festival after we played, and I had this stupid foot hanging out of the crotch of my pants, and I was going around telling everybody my dick's a foot. That's the end of that story.
That's the whole thing. Eh?
It was fun.
Yeah, so Chris stories. Yeah. I actually don't really have one.
Yeah, I guess he only played like
I've-
the one
I've
show.
played 3 shows with him.
3. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's
it.
right.
I think we had fun on 70,000 tons. That was
Did you
so
see it?
long ago. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Did you see his feet on 70,000 tons?
God
I
damn.
probably did, yeah.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Get off the fucking feet topics.
No, it's never going away.
I'm trying to think of what would be
Favorite Chris moment?
a favorite Chris moment.
How about him just being Jaboy and
Jaboy.
driving like
Yeah.
90% of every tour? That was
Yeah.
pretty solid, man. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, I think I always felt like it was because he was afraid of anybody else driving
Fair.
for
Fair
a
enough.
lot of it. But then I also like driving. But it's good to have someone like that in the band. Now we have to figure out who's the next driver guy.
Yeah.
because I'm trash at it. I'm like narcoleptic.
I have to wear glasses, so my vision sucks. So I'm out.
I'm good for
Automatically.
a while, but I get tired of it real quick.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do much more rotations now.
I guess
Yeah.
this new guy. will
Short
have to be-
straws. Yeah,
the
we
driver.
should go by seniority, starting from the bottom. New guy drives.
That's fine with me. I'm not the new guy.
No, you're the new guy.
I'm not the new guy.
The new guy.
yeah, that's true. Wait a minute.
Did
we still haven't figured out who is newer.
Someone will be the next one in the band.
If you go by shows, you're still the new guy.
So, if you go by amount of Warzone games played, I am not the new guy.
Seniority.
Yeah,
If you go by amount of war zones, I haven't even ranked.
yeah.
Yeah.
What you doing, bro?
More important.
Actually, didn't you just
shit
get a
with
new
my
PC?
life. Hey.
Didn't you just get a new PC?
No, I just upgraded my PC.
so you can play Warzone now.
Well, see, that's my design PC, and it needs to be in
No.
tip-top shape,
Video
so
games.
I can make awesome
You
graphics.
you install a AAA game on there, it's not gonna fuck it up.
Actually, one game at a time.
Tell
I
you
have
what.
going on. I've been playing
Although it's a
Control
monster.
lately. Have you guys played that?
Which
I
game?
have not played
Control.
Control, but I'm
such
aware
a
of
good
it.
game.
It's
Where
pretty
you,
good
like
so
move
far.
shit with your mind.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
It's actually a really good game. That was one of my favorites from 2020.
Oh, did you make it to the end of the game? Oh, nice. Do
Yeah.
you end up breaking out of that building? Because
I'm not telling you.
Oh, fuck. It's the only thing right now is I don't know how to fly yet, and I can't make my way out of this building. There's some tricky trivia, or there's some tricky puzzles in that game.
Tricky puzzles,
Yeah.
and that's one of those games where I really enjoy just like, there's all the collectible stuff you can find.
Yeah.
And they've got
Yeah.
like these. So basically, you're in this department that they do experiments on the paranormal kind of stuff. And so they have all these like reports just laying around that you can read about like stuff, like how they're accessing other dimensions and creepy stuff. It's pretty sick.
And then your basic powers that you can use in the game is you can move stuff with your mind, so
Yeah.
you can basically pick up anything with your mind and throw it at
Yeah,
people.
like
and
chunks of concrete wall. Like
Yeah.
you rip it out and throw it at bad guys.
it's pretty
sick.
cool. It's a pretty fun game. Control.
Cool.
Wow, brain.
I got 2 chicken dinners on PUBG yesterday.
Oh shit.
Did everybody complete their Chris stories?
I didn't.
Nope.
I didn't.
I kind of
complete
tapped out.
mine. I'm trying to think.
Was that
like,
Pete that was said driving, or was that you, John?
Oh, I said
That was
driving.
me. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Never
I'm sure
driven
there's
with-
more fun.
So
stuff
many.
with
I'm trying to think of like good tour stories.
Yeah, you'd have the most.
Yeah. I mean, while you're thinking, I guess, so I can have an answer. Like, when we were in, where was it, in Florida?
Fort
Before
Lauderdale.
70,000.
Pensacola?
Yeah. No, Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale, yeah.
I mean, that was probably when I spent the most time with him that day right before. Like, we were just running around getting beer and checking places out. It was fun. I don't know. He was fun to hang out with.
each other massages.
Sounds like he's dead.
He's dead.
Yeah, he's dead
We'll
now.
miss him. He'll always have a place in our hearts and in the van.
I can't even. It's too many. Like we've done
Yeah.
too much random shit. I mean, I can't think of one off the top of my head.
I can think of some good ones that may not be appropriate for.
it's
sharing.
like, the really gritty tour stories that'll be on the Patreon or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it was a good story, but Chris had pneumonia on that bullet tour we did. He survived that somehow. I think his doctor told him you're lucky you didn't die.
whoa.
You're pretty sure you had pneumonia.
Yeah, that's insane.
Because he would just he was so fucking sick on that tour that he would just sleep on the bus and then we'd set up all the shit and then he would play and then he would just get back on the bus and go back to bed. And
Yeah.
it was fucked
Oh,
up.
that
And then I'm
sucks.
pretty sure at the end of the tour he peeled up his fucking his bunk in the tour bus
Yeah.
and it was moldy.
From sweating too much.
Well, I don't even know if it was that or if it's just nobody was cleaning under that ever or something. So
Oh.
anybody who's on a tour
Probably
bus,
how
maybe
he got
take
tour
a
bus,
little
man.
look underneath that little bed thing, see what the fuck's going on down there before you
Wipe
sleep in
your-
it for a month.
Yeah, wipe your entire bus down.
Yeah, it's nasty as fuck.
That's a good tangent to go on.
Sure.
Disgusting tour illness.
Being sick on
Everyone's-
tour sucks.
Everyone's shitty
It's
as
just the
tour
problem
sickness.
with COVID stuff is everybody gets sick on tour
Yep.
every time.
Now you're gonna have to be like, oh fuck, is it COVID?
Yeah, I bet
Yeah,
you a lot of
it's-
bands are gonna have to just either cancel their fucking tour halfway through or just lie and be like, I'm sick, but I don't think it's COVID. Or I guess you could rapid test.
Yeah,
them
there's gonna be
yeah,
rapid tests. We
rapid
should probably take some on tour with us.
probably, yeah.
Especially with
I have a
stuff like,
couple at home.
yeah, well, you get the VIP meet and greet stuff. And now you're
God, yeah.
even closer interactions with fans where they're coughing on you and stuff.
Yeah.
I think there was a big band that had the main person got COVID and they had a tour and they're like, sorry, canceled. I mean, that happened sort of to Unleash the Archers,
Yeah.
but I think it was
But it's even if someone in the group or something gets it,
Yeah.
and it's now everybody's close contact and you have to
Oh.
get tested.
Dude, yeah. If
Just
one
ask
of us
them,
got
man.
it on tour, guaranteed we're all getting it.
Curtains.
Oh yeah.
triple vaxxed, bro. I can swim in sewage now, not get sick.
The doorknob licking tour. That's the name of our next tour.
Yeah,
Gonna lick all the doorknobs in Grand Central Station.
yeah.
God. Oh, dude. Could you imagine being the janitor in New York subways? your job is the janitor for the subway bathrooms,
Dragging a dirty, wet mop across the floor.
which actually makes it cleaner.
And fighting Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Cool. I remember when I was a kid and I was big into Ninja Turtles, I wanted to go, we'd pass a sewer and I'd be like, Dad, is Ninja Turtles in there? He'd be like, no, don't you ever go in the sewer. And you'd get like mad at me. But there was like a thing that happened when I was a kid where some kids tried to go into the sewers looking for the Ninja Turtles and they got all fucked up and lost and shit. And like, I don't know if they got hurt or if they made it out or what, but
I assume, but
that's pretty shitty.
Like, how far into your 20s were you when this happened?
It was almost my 30s probably. Yeah.
Just full adult looking for the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, still wearing a diaper,
I know they're real.
what's the dumbest thing you did when you were a kid?
Oh God.
Tim, you
This
go.
could be fun.
You go first. What's the dumbest thing you did as a child, as a wee lad?
I don't even know. I'm pretty sure all the brain damage has deleted all those memories.
Jono?
I mean, maybe not the dumbest, but something that was very dumb. I used to, I had a huge flight of stairs in my house, and I used to pretend to go snowboarding when I was 8, which would mean I would just run full tilt off the top of the staircase and jump into a pile of pillows at the bottom.
That
And-
sounds pretty badass.
Sounds
yeah,
fun,
it was fun until I overshot the pillow pile and I sprained my ankle super bad. And
Shitty.
couldn't walk. Yeah.
That sucks.
But I stopped until it was healed, and then I just resumed doing it because it was just fun.
Nice.
Sports injuries. Okay, well, on a tangent on that.
Yeah, I never really
who
got
has
injured
the worst,
or anything.
Who's got the worst injury story? I have
I
almost
think
never
I
been
do.
injured.
I almost paralyzed myself once.
Oh, that's the one he fell off that wall or whatever.
Okay, that way to minimize it. No,
Alcohol
I
is
was
a factor.
drinking. Obviously, was coming off the me and some friends had gone to a casino and were we just kept winning more and more money and drinking more and more beer with the money we're winning. And then I decided I wanted to go to a bar that was nearby, and so to get there, you either had to walk this really convoluted way around the street to get there, or you could just cut through this construction zone. So naturally, that's what we did. And I don't know. There was we got through most of it fine, and there's one last fence that was pretty tall, and through the crack you could see the sign of the bar for where we're trying to go. So I climbed the fence, super drunk, and just kind of threw myself over it, and just I'll just land, it'll be fine. And it was like a 10-foot tall fence, and I landed super hard, didn't absorb any of the impact, flat-footed, bam, landed so hard my glasses flew off my head, just instantly collapsed. There was seriously, there's a homeless dude there was oh my God, are you okay? Just panicking for me. And I'm just rolling on the ground in pain like a fucking moron. And my friend...
morons feel pain.
Yeah. One of my friend gracefully lowers himself over the fence, and he's like, dude, stop being a bitch, just get up, you'll be fine, come on, let's go. So I stand up, just immediately collapse because landed super hard, and just gave it a couple minutes, and then was bracing myself against the wall trying to get to this bar because I had to get there at this point. And eventually just couldn't walk, so I hailed a cab on my hands and knees, crawled into the cab, and then later found out that I cracked the bottom of my heel, and then bruised my other foot, so I couldn't walk for about 3 weeks straight.
Ouch.
And when I was getting all the x-rays, they're like, yeah, you should have probably compressed your spine or shattered something, but because you were drunk, you just kind of went with it, and in a weird way that saved you. So
Lesson to be learned.
just
The lesson is always be drunk.
exactly.
Yeah. If you're gonna hurt yourself.
I am the liquor.
Fun fact: I've never broken a bone.
How about an organ?
I've never had any issues like that.
Wow,
I'm
lucky
fucking
dude. Knock wood, dude. Knock wood.
invincible, bud.
Invincible. How about you, Tim? What's your injury story? I got a
I'm
dude.
similar to Dan. I haven't really had any severe injuries other than my appendix exploding just before
I remember
COVID.
that.
So that was fun. Nat.
That was fun. I took
That
you to
was
the
fun,
pharmacy.
not.
Or to the doctor, remember? I gave you a
No.
ride there. Didn't I?
What?
Huh? When your appendix exploded.
I drove myself to the hospital.
I was with you.
No, you weren't.
Yeah. Or not the hospital. No, that was the... Wait.
This is Tim. I don't
we
know.
Went,
Have you guys met?
you and me, we went to a doctor. I took you to a doctor because your guts were fucked up, and it was your appendix.
No, I went by myself.
What happened then when I took you that one time?
I don't even
Maybe
know.
it was before it exploded.
I don't even know what you're talking
Remember
about.
I think that was a dream.
I don't know if any of us were involved in that.
I do remember taking you to a pharmacy, and you were sitting there for something.
Where was this?
Can't remember. I don't know. But it was here in Edmonton. I don't know. Could have been a dream.
Cool.
No, Tim's
I don't
invading my
remember this.
dreams.
Appendix explosions.
So
Fuck that, dude. And now, anytime I have like some random, like, it would be like, you know, diet related cramp or something.
my time. It's my time.
McDonald's, but like, I'll be like, is that, I wonder if that's my appendix about to explode. I'm like on edge now about it because you had it happen to you.
All the years of eating shitty on tour just catching up with you.
Yeah. So far, so good. So I don't know.
Hell yeah, dude. My appendix exploded too once. Yeah.
Did it
Doesn't
actually
usually happen
explode? Did yours explode,
it was
Tim?
Mine did, yeah.
Oh shit! But you were in the hospital when it blew up.
Yeah, so
Good.
I went in like around noon, I guess, and then it took like 8 hours of me just like rolling around on the floor in the ER for me to get a room, and then they like poked around at me and they're like, "Oh, I think your appendix is fuckered there, bud." I was like, "Ah, shit." And then I think I was supposed to get surgery like the next day, and then they moved it back, and I was like, "Oh, this sucks." And then when they did the surgery the day after, and then afterwards the guy's like, "Oh yeah, your shit was super fucked, exploded," and he's like, "Yeah, it was super messy. You're gonna have to stay in for a couple extra days." So and then I stayed in
dude.
the good old Herspisterl for like 3 extra days.
Yikes. But I mean, that can be fatal if it like ruptures, right?
Yeah, that can
Yes.
kill you for sure.
Jeez.
Yes.
Thirsty. And I remember when like I woke up after the anesthesia, they're like, "Congratulations, the surgery was a success." And I was like, "Can I keep my appendix?" And they're like, "No."
I ask
your
that
appendix
every
has
time
been
I have surgery.
obliterated.
Like, no.
We collected it in a little baggie for you.
I want the appendix. Give it to me.
I got a mole cut off one time, and he let me keep it in a little container of formaldehyde. I had it on my mantle, and then I just got sick of it being there. I was like, "This is dumb." I threw it
Do
out.
any of you have your baby teeth?
Yeah, I think I have a few. Yeah, My
Bro.
mom kept them.
You should like grind it up and snort it or something.
Absorb the power of your adolescent mouth.
Yeah, you need the stem cells.
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
what the fuck is that?
Ground up tea.
Okay, Pete, what's your injury story, buddy?
Well, I got a few actually. I got an appendix story.
Oh,
as
I'm
well.
sorry. I have to recant my answer.
Oh,
I fucked
what?
myself up when I was a little kid.
Okay.
I'll make this quick.
Yeah, go
I
for it.
jumped from the treehouse to this like retaining wall, and I missed, and I
Shit.
slid down. I was like, I don't know, like 5 or something. It was like a little kid.
Yeah.
And I slid down the wall, and the only thing that caught the wall was my chin, and I almost bit my tongue off
Oh my shit.
when I was like really little.
Boy, you'd be singing funny if that happened. Eh? Like, no tongue.
No tongue.
That would suck.
Yeah, so that's the only real like shitty thing I've done to myself.
That's pretty shitty. You want to keep your tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brutal, dude. All right. Well, what do you guys want? Do you want the appendix?
What's the worst one? Which one
Well,
was the
the
worst?
appendix involves shitting all over the hospital as well. So it's got a bit of that element. But the spleen story is it's a pretty significant
Which one?
injury.
Which one was the worst for you to go through?
Oh, the spleen. Absolutely.
tell
that
that
was
one, tell that
horrible.
one. Yeah, tell that one.
It was a snowboarding injury. And
You're getting radical.
It's a bit of a story here. We got a couple minutes.
No.
If you guys can sit through it. So it was snowboarding. Me and my buddy went snowboarding in BC, as we would do in the winters. And sorry, did I hit you with that one?
I could feel it.
Did you?
Continue.
Oh, my
Yeah.
bad. So yeah, we're ripping on these snowboards, and we like to take big jumps over what was called a tabletop jump,
air.
right? If anybody who's
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Get some
you know,
fucking
a
air.
tabletop jump. So it goes up and it's got a flat area on the top and then a down slope that you have to land on. So you try to clear the flat and land on the down slope, right? Well, we were hucking backflips over these things, and we were starting to get pretty good at these backflips. So we are getting much more confident with them, right? So it becomes lunchtime, and we go to the lodge and have a hamburger and a beer. Usually, the beer hit me a little harder than it usually does. So I had a bit too much confidence. We're like, let's go back. We're going to huck these backflips. Huge, no speed check, nothing, right? So I'm like, sweet, no speed check. Headed straight for this jump. The thing is, with snowboarding, when you take off on a jump, you got to make sure you're taking off with your board flat. Because if you have an edge cut in at all, your body is going to kind of tend to go that way as you take off. So I had an edge cut in when I took off. So I went up and I went back to do my backflip, but I was also twisting, and I didn't mean to twist. So I got disoriented real quick in the air, and I wasn't sure which way I was facing. So I was like, oh fuck, I got to get my feet under me before I hit the ground, or it's going to be curtains, right? So just as soon as I thought that, bang, I land upside down on my shoulder blades. Lucky I didn't land on my head.
Yeah.
But I had my head tucked in. I knew to tuck my head
Had a
in,
helmet
right?
on though, right?
No.
Oh.
But I didn't hit my head really. I landed like kind of on the, like here, like.
On your spine.
Yeah, on my shoulders.
Much better.
So, yeah. But what happened because of that is I was upside down. The weight of my legs and my board come like this, right?
Yeah.
And pushed against my ribs. Spleen is under there. So my ribs pushed against my spleen, and apparently my spleen just went like this.
Oh my
but
God.
I didn't know. I can't see this shit happening inside me. I don't have an X-ray machine.
Could you feel it right away or no?
Well, it winded me. You've been winded before,
yeah.
right? Where
I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on at that point.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, it was panic, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
you get winded. Can't breathe. First of all, I got to be able to breathe. So how can I breathe? Well, I waited and I waited. I'd been winded before. So my buddy comes over. He's like, oh, shit, are you okay? That was crazy. And I'm like, hold on. I think I'm okay. And I was a bit shook up, of course, right? Adrenaline and whatnot. And your body's probably in shock too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Internal bleeding. But I didn't know. I mean, I hurt. My shoulder hurt. So I was like, okay, well, let's go down to the bottom. We'll get on the chairlift. We'll smoke a joint. And get to the top, and we'll take another run, and by the end of that, we'll see how I feel. If I feel like crap, we'll go home, right?
Yeah.
So we did that. We get back to the top. By the time we got to the top, it was bad. I was like, I'm not standing up straight because it hurts all over my torso, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to ride down the hill. So I sat on my board, and I just rode it down, sitting on my board to the bottom of the hill. Went to first aid. They poked around a bit, and they were like, yeah, we can't see anything wrong with you, but you better go to the hospital. It sounds like you had a pretty bad spill. So I was like, okay, I'll go to the hospital. He's like, but don't drive your car in case you did hit your head. Have your buddy drive for you. So he drove me to the hospital, and the doctor, kind of a bit of a lazy doctor, I think, but she's poking around, and I told her, my left shoulder hurts, and my rib cage around here hurts. I didn't know. I'm not a doctor, but apparently any kind of impact injury and a complaint of sore ribs and shoulder on the left side is like major sign of spleen injury.
Oh, really?
And I didn't know that. I didn't even know what a spleen was.
Why? Yeah.
Right?
I don't even know what a spleen is.
Yeah. Right? So she's like, oh, you snowboarders, you're always taking it too hard. Take these muscle relaxants and you probably bruise some muscles and just take it easy for a couple days. So I go home bleeding to death. Little did I know.
Yeah,
and I'm curled up in the fetal position in my bed because the pain is like, if I move, it's just shooting pain through my abdomen. So my girlfriend at the time had a plan to come over after work and hang out. So fortunately, she come over and we're hanging. She comes in and she knew something was wrong right away. She had a bit of first aid training, this girl. So she's like, you need to go to the hospital. What happened? I'm like, oh, a snowboarding accident. I'm okay though. She gave me some medicine. I'll go back to the hospital in the morning. She's like, no, you're in shock and something's seriously wrong. You're going back now. And I was like, no, I don't want to move. I'm going in the morning. She football carried me to her car.
Shit.
Yeah,
Wow.
dragged me out to her car, took me to the hospital, and literally saved my life.
Damn.
Doctor told me I
Holy.
would not have woke up in the morning if I
Oh.
would. Yeah. So I get back to the hospital, and by this time I can't stand up straight because it's just so bad. And I was like, "Look, I need to talk to another doctor." And they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, you were here before." And I was like, "Yeah, it's way worse now." And they're like, "Okay, we'll get you in as soon as we can, right? We're gonna get you in like right away." I was like, "Okay, but I need to go to the bathroom because I need to throw up." And it was just like, by this time my abdomen had swollen because of all the blood.
Oh my.
In your open abdomen, and it was pushing my abdomen out because it was
damn.
swelling so much, right? So that was putting pressure on my other organs.
How does the doctor not catch this?
Blood,
Right? He'll be all right.
baby.
Exactly.
Here's
So-
some Advil, like sleep it off, bro.
Exactly. So I hope she's listening, man. Bitch almost killed me.
Idiot.
Yeah. So anyway, it's putting pressure on all my other organs, which makes me feel nauseous because it's putting pressure on my stomach. So I was like, okay, well, I got to go throw up. And they're like, okay, just don't lock the bathroom door, right? And I was like, okay. So I get on my knees in front of the toilet, black.
Curtains
Yeah,
blood.
I lost consciousness.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I woke up in the hospital bed. And doctor comes in, different doctor.
They're like, bro, you shit everywhere. Bro.
Sorry, dude.
Sorry. Go ahead.
It's all good. So yeah, I know. Doctor comes in. Oh, Mr. Klassen, you're awake. And I'm like, yeah. And by this time, they had me pumped full of Demerol, so I'm just being a goofball, right? Like, hey, doc, yeah, what's wrong with me?
Like, my audience is here.
Doopy-doo, right? And he's like, oh, Mr. Klassen, you've ruptured your spleen pretty bad. And I'm like, oh, spleen? What's a spleen? And he explains, he's like, oh, it's an organ, filters your blood before your liver, blah, 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 right? And then I was like, that sounds pretty serious, am I going to live? And, kind of jokingly asking, and he's like, we're doing our best, Mr. Klassen. And I was like,
Oh.
and then the gravity of the situation kind of hit me.
We're
It was
doing
like,
our best.
this
Damn.
doctor doesn't know if I'm gonna live. I was like, can you phone my parents and get them here? Like, oh, they're already here. You've been unconscious for like almost 24 hours. You lost over half of your body's blood in your abdomen. Yeah. So I was in real rough shape.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So then what you do after that is the spleen it's a really spongy organ that's always full of lots of blood. So with minor spleen injury, sometimes it will clot over and heal itself. So we're waiting to see if it's going to do that. So here I am on Demerol for like 2 weeks. It's the end of December. I'm supposed to have a gig somewhere up north BC for New Year's Eve. Not happening, obviously.
Yeah.
So, which was all right because it was this Neil Diamond cover band that I didn't really like anyway. And anyway, so your hemoglobin levels in your blood, they will plummet if it becomes an emergency. So they're waiting to see if my hemoglobin levels are going to drop or if they're going to stabilize and heal itself. So I'm just like, I'm getting sick of waiting. I've been sitting there in the hospital for 2 weeks trying to see if this thing's going to heal. All of a sudden,
Holy shit.
yeah, 15 minutes before midnight on New Year's Eve, hemoglobin plummets. Emergency surgery, we got to take his spleen out. I'm like, yes, please just get this fucking thing out of me. I'm sick of laying here, right? So they went to OR. I took out my spleen. I woke up, and then I spent another month-ish in the hospital recovering. Like, big gap in your thing. I just remember before the surgeon put me out, he's like, there's going to be a big incision right in your abdomen. I'm like, don't fuck up my abs, bro. He's like, we'll do our best. He did a really good job. He
He's like,
cut
I'm
right in
gonna
the middle of them.
He's like, I'm going to fucking fuck these abs.
Mangle this motherfucker. So that was an ordeal. Yeah, I mean, you can't eat because like after a major abdominal surgery, you're stapled shut, right? If you cough too hard, it could rip open. Yeah. If you throw up, it's gonna rip open. So you got to be careful. You can't eat for like a long time. You can't even drink water because your organs are all asleep. You're being fed drugs on this side and then all your nutrients on this side, and you're not allowed to go home until you can poop. That was the rule. So this is the funny part about it.
Just sitting there like pushing.
My recovery is because in order to wake up all your organs, you got to do laps down the hallway of the hospital for a while, right? And I wasn't even able to do that for the first couple weeks. But then, getting close to, things starting to heal up, and I'm trying to wake up my organs, doing laps down the I'd pass the nurse's station every day, and they'd be like, "Oh, how you doing today, Peter?" And I'd be like, "Oh, I'm doing okay. Just trying to poop, right?" And they're like, "Oh, I hope you poop today." And it became this running thing every day that me and the nurses were talking about me being able to poop or not, right? So, boy, the day I pooped, it was party time in the nurse ward, dude. I come out that day and I couldn't run, but I was moving faster than I usually do. They're like, "Oh, hi, Peter." I'm like, "I pooped." I yelled it down the hall, and the nurses were all like, "Yay, Peter pooped." And it was like super exciting. I was like, "Call the doctor, I'm going home." Doctor comes in, "Oh, I got to check, see if you really pooped." And he goes and looks in there. "I saved it, it's in the toilet. Look, it's a tiny little rabbit turd."
You had to check.
So I finally got to go home, man, after the ordeal, and that's my spleen injury story. I almost died.
Then how much longer did it take to heal after that?
I was still out of commission at home for at least another 2 weeks. So the whole recovery was a month and a half, 2 months maybe.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Could have been so much shorter if you just slept it off that first night.
I know, right? Yeah, I wouldn't have had anything to worry
Scared
about.
of that, dude. I'm so
Yeah.
scared of like having to like do a major surgery like that because I've been so lucky not to have anything like that.
Yeah.
where
Surgery's
I'm
not
like,
that bad.
I don't want to fucking have any shit like that happen.
See,
if something bad happens, just fucking all the way,
Pull the plug, eh?
fully destroy me if it's gonna happen.
Trash can.
Yeah, I don't know. My fear is just like the anesthetic not really working, and you're
Yes.
kind of half under, and then you wake up during your surgery and you experience the whole thing.
Oh, hell
I've
no.
heard horror stories of that.
That happens.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
Fuck that, dude. That's
No, that is the scariest part of surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember my first surgery was my appendix, and I said that to the guy before he put me under. I was like, "Make sure I'm sleeping before you start cutting." And he's like, "Don't worry, we've got it under control."
No,
he's like, this punk ass. Fuck this kid.
There's like, I don't know. I've heard stories of like people that they're sedated to the point where they can't make any movement or noise or anything, but they're conscious and they feel everything that's going on for like 8 hours.
Nah, that's gotta be like a wives' tale. That can't be real.
Nah, I don't know,
I
man.
think that is
There
real.
are people who anesthetic doesn't affect properly. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
That would
I
be
mean
like
psychological
PTSD.
torture
You'd
for
be
8 hours,
fucked.
right?
Yeah, that'd be
Dude,
fucked up.
could you imagine? Well, it was only like a few
I got
hundred
dark.
years ago, a couple hundred years ago, when they started having like actual anesthetic. Like back in the day, surgeries were done with no anesthetic. Dude.
Yeah, whiskey and a hacksaw.
Yeah, they
Figure it out.
put like a
Holy hell.
strip of leather, like that Master and Commander movie.
Yeah.
I always remember that stuck with me because they're like,
Yep.
"Oh shit, he got like shrapnel in his leg." Well, here's the shot, and bite down on this, and we're gonna just saw your fucking leg off, and then put like a frying pan on it, just
Yeah, to cauterize it.
cauterize it.
Yeah.
It's like fuck that, dude. That's
Man,
insane.
people were so much more hardcore than
we got
now.
it so easy, man.
Yeah.
They're just like, "Oh, you did some recreational sport and like almost killed yourself. Well, we'll fix that up for you, no
Yep.
problem."
Yeah, sure. Here's a robotic wiener for Mr. Bobbitt. Nowadays, no problem.
Holy fuck.
How do we transition out of that?
Jeez, that was down a rabbit hole there. Dark.
Yeah, we went down.
So that was your best Chris story, huh?
My best Chris story is when I broke my spleen before I'd even met the guy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So,
Yup.
kids, don't break your spleen. It's not fun.
Or your appendix.
Or your appendix. Yeah.
Can you even like do something that will like make your appendix explode, or is it just like a crapshoot?
I think it just gets infected or something.
Yeah.
Full
Yeah.
of poison.
Yeah, like for me, I just like woke up one morning. I was like, oh, I feel a little sick, but I feel okay. I was still planning on going to work later that day, and then like throughout the day, I was like, oh, I don't feel very good. And then I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna barf, but then I couldn't barf. And then I was just like, oh man, I feel really shitty. I should go to the doctor. And then I was like, I'll go to a Medi Center. And I was like, on the drive there, I was like, oh man, I'm getting fucked up. I'm going to the hospital. Fuck this. I was like, oh god. Brutal. But similar to Pete with the pooping, my first poop after that, it was like I tried to poo and just nothing would come out, but I could feel the poo in there.
Yeah.
And
It's the worst.
because they put you under, and when they opioids make you super constipated.
Yeah. Plus, your organs are still asleep.
Yeah, so they gave me like a ton of stool softener, and then it was like I had to wait like another day because I hadn't pooped in like a week. And then I remember trying to do that first poop, and it was like that was almost as bad as the surgery
because it hurts to push.
Yeah, it was just like a week's worth of poo that had hardened it into a giant diamond.
Gary on the mark.
It was just like, oh god.
When my appendix blew up, dude, or mine didn't blow up, but I had bad appendicitis and it was all swollen. I seem to have bad luck with first doctors giving me a shit one over. Because I went in and I was appendicitis. Because, like, yeah, when your appendix is swollen, it's a significant pain in your gut. It's not just like your regular gut pain.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, something's wrong, and you know something's wrong. So I went to the hospital, and they just told me I'm constipated. They're like, yeah, you're severely constipated. We're gonna give you an enema. So I was not stoked about that. I was like, I'd rather surgery than a bunch of soapy water shot up my butthole, right? So they give me this stupid enema, fill me up, and it's supposed to fix me, right? So I'm sitting there like, you need to hold it for at least 10 minutes. Anybody ever had an enema?
No.
Ain't no 10 minutes going on, let me tell you that. I was like, you need to hold it as long as you can. It was like, dude, 30 seconds? It's like, I'm going to the bathroom. Ran to the bathroom, barely made it in the hospital bathroom door, and I left a trail from the door all the way to the toilet, dude. I destroyed that bathroom. And I came back into the ER, and I was like, I'm sorry, I made a mess. And they're like, oh, we'll call the janitor. It probably happens all the time, people shitting all over the hospital, right?
It's probably a janitor whose job it is just to deal with.
Probably. I'll call the shit guy.
Damn, dude.
So I made a big mess, yeah. And I went back to the room, and they're like, okay, just wait here a couple minutes and then go home. So I went home, shat my bed that night because
wasn't done.
No.
Did you actually poop in your bed?
Well, I was laying on my belly, and I thought I had to fart. So I basically diarrhea volcanoed all over my own butt. And yeah. But it didn't help because the next day I had the appendix pain and it was worse. So I went back to the doctor, and they're like,
So on top of this, you're fucking appendix.
Right? They're like, oh no, your appendix is about to explode. We need to take it out. So I was like, so you filled my ass up with warm water for nothing? And they're like, yeah, we're sorry about that. I was like, dude, I should shit all over your bathroom again just out of spite.
Holy fuck.
That poor janitor.
I know, right? So, I had a couple.
They punked you, man. They fucking punked you, bro.
I think
They're
so. They're like, oh, we're gonna get this guy.
Just make him shit himself, and then you have to go and
get surgery. Yeah, every time I hurt myself, it's a double punch. First doctor tells me it's something dumb, and then the next doctor nails it.
I don't know why that's so funny to me.
Always get a second opinion, people.
Yeah. Moral of the story. Holy fuck.
Yeah, never trust a fart.
Never trust a fart and get a second opinion.
At least you were nice and clean in the insides for your surgery.
Yeah.
That's true. Maybe that's how they did it on purpose. They're like, doctor's like, oh man,
don't
this
scare
guy's
him, but
probably
we
got
need him to
rotten insides. Let's enema him up first.
God damn.
All right, enough enema.
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to transition out of this.
Okay, so the shit talk and the feet talk is now banned.
Okay.
Until next episode.
Yeah, we've hit our quota.
Holy.
Most of my best stories are involving pooping.
Yeah, it's funny how that works.
That's sad. We gotta get out there and do more stuff.
Yeah.
If the best stories are about shitting,
Shitting.
that's bad.
Here we thought we were gonna get out of it and do like injuries and surgery stories, but it just
It's all coming
can't get
back.
away, man.
Nope.
Can't get away.
Well, we always joke about how funny it is. Like, I feel like it's us and every other fucking band is like so much of your daily conversation is about like getting to a good toilet on tour.
That's true.
And witnessing the worst possible scenarios for having to go to the bathroom.
There's
like
some pretty bad truck stops.
We were talking about doing that bathroom review, anonymous, anonymous venue bathroom review. We could
Yeah.
make like a Tumblr page or something for it, but we never did it because we thought like, you know, if it got popular and venues found out we were like making fun of their toilets, maybe they wouldn't want us to like invite us back. You know what I mean? Like the venue's good. The venue's good, but the toilet stalls you can just see over. That's that fucking. Where is that in
El Corazon?
El Corazon? Yeah,
Seattle.
It's just like
Man,
the
this is
most.
weird.
Like, and I kind of understand it. It's
That's
like,
even a nice toilet.
make it the
It's
most
nicer end.
unappealing place to have to shit, so that no one does. You know, because it's like, it's like we don't want anybody shitting here, but we legally have to have that provided to people. So just make it as uncomfortable as possible. Like none of the doors lock.
No toilet paper.
no
No
toilet
toilet
paper,
seats.
no-
No,
no,
soap.
yeah.
No working light bulbs.
Yeah,
It's like a bicycle with no seat, right?
yeah. Spider terrarium inside bathroom. So yeah,
All right. So without naming venues, maybe what are some of these awful toilets?
all of those examples we've
Give us
seen
more, give us
multiple
more.
times. No toilet seats, no toilet paper, no soap. That's a big one. It's like what the
Was this
how?
all the same bathroom?
That
Often.
would deter me from
Possibly.
turding.
They've been. It's you see it all over the place,
Yeah.
or just general disgustingness. Like,
Some of those squats that we played in Europe and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
Those are some nasty turlets.
or the one that's just like a hole in the ground, which is just like I'm I'm not using that shit. Fuck that. I don't know how to do it. I'm sure it's not that hard to figure out, but it's just like, I'm too privileged to want to do this.
You never tried one of those like those hole in the ground ones, but it's actually got like a porcelain toilet built into the ground. It's just a squatty toilet.
No,
you never squatted.
I've only ever seen like the dark hole.
Yeah.
That's
I
like
have a hard time
God
with those
only
squatty
knows.
Oh, there's
toilets.
probably
Yeah.
snakes and like
Yeah.
all kinds of things in there. Wait until it just bite your nuts.
God damn it. Cut this out. Cut all this shit talk out. Has anybody been to a unique country outside of Pete's visit to Japan?
Unique New
call.
York.
John went to India.
I did.
Oh
That's
yeah,
a-
tell us about India, dude.
Oh, well, speaking of shitting in a hole,
we're back on this shit stories. No.
India was cool. I mean, just you had to be really careful with like food that you eat there because the water, like their water there is not. It's got a bunch of bacteria that will like mess up your guts.
But
for
do
days.
they drink the water?
They do because
Oh,
they
so
grow
they're,
up
like,
with it.
They're
Right,
used
right.
to it. Okay.
Yeah. It's just
So-
what you're used to.
Are you telling us you can't just go there and get it India?
Yes, Pete. Yeah.
They
No,
weren't-
it's just like fresh vegetables. You have to, and like tap water is what you have to avoid. So anything that's fried or whatever. And I mean, most places are pretty good about
You
it. They
can't
don't
have
want-
fresh vegetables?
no. It has to be cooked.
Oh.
Otherwise, the bacteria will still be on it from the water that they would have used to wash it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jeez.
But yeah, like I was saying, most places are pretty aware of that, and like they don't want to get a reputation for like
Getting people sick.
getting
for
tourists
sure.
especially
Naturally.
like, sick, right? So, but yeah, we played some. My last band played some festivals there, which were sick. Like
Actually,
huge.
I've seen some pictures and it looked pretty epic.
Like the bigger one we played, it was like 20,000 people or something crazy. Like biggest show I've ever done.
Yep.
Also not that enjoyable because when you hit that size, it was like the crowd was so far back that you couldn't like feed off their
It's
energy.
hard to be that famous, eh?
Yeah.
Fuck.
And, well, no one knew who we were. It was hilarious, but they were super into it. But the first festival we did on that run, it was in this like tiny little amphitheater that was probably supposed to hold like 2,000 people, and there was at least twice that in there. Like there was no room to like leave. Like people were just packed in there, and they were right up against the stage, and that still to this day is like the best show I've ever played. Just
Cool.
these kids that were so into this band that they've never heard before, and like they were kind of moshing, not really knowing how to mosh, but like they were taking people and just throwing them up in the air and then catching them.
Yeah.
It was so sick. Yeah, they were singing along despite not knowing the words or the melodies or anything, but it was such a good vibe.
For a lot of those people, I wonder how many of them it was like their first experience with live heavy metal.
I'm sure a lot of them, honestly.
Oh, that's amazing. Can you
It's-
imagine being someone's first live metal experience? Dude.
I'm sure we
We
have.
probably have been,
Oh, yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it was
that's a
fun.
good point. I guess that's probably happened.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Were
And
there
it was-
cows walking around in the street in the city like they say? Or
In certain places, so
Yeah.
like Mumbai, no, like that's too big of a city. But we had like a week off in Goa, which is just like a kind of resort town. And yeah, there was if you creep my Instagram, there's pictures of a cow that came up while I was eating like breakfast and just started like eating food off my plate.
wow. And because you can't
What are
fuck
you
with
gonna
them,
do?
right? Like they're
Well, you can
special.
shoo
so
them off, but like
Yeah.
it didn't care. It's like, no, I'm eating your food, dude. And then that
They
was
just
that.
get to do whatever the fuck they
Yeah.
want, hey?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
Sweet. Trippy.
pretty sweet.
Cool, man.
Yeah. So I've been to India.
It'd be
What
a fun
about
place to check out.
you guys?
I think the only place that I've been that was even close to unique that wasn't with the band was like Costa Rica, which was really sick.
Yeah.
Nice.
Bang.
Smash.
Don't need all these teeth.
Yeah, it was like 34 degrees, like
Yeah.
for the foreseeable future. Like it's so funny looking at like your iPhone weather app.
Sure.
It's just the same weather
All year round.
from now till forever. It's just like the same temperature every
How
day.
nice would that be?
Yeah. But like 34, it's pretty hot.
That's
Until
hot.
rainy season.
I don't even know,
yeah.
I don't know if they have one. I can't. Well,
Costa Rica, they must. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't really know, but it was pretty cool. Nice place.
Wow.
Nice place.
How about you, Tim?
Most of the places I've been are
Tour.
on tour. Yeah. So
And then there's like
Yeah.
Leduc and Vegreville.
yeah, Leduc, that's pretty good.
All these special
Slave
places.
Lake,
Yeah.
Yeah. The donut mill.
Donut Mill. Yeah, shout out to Donut Mill in Red Deer.
Actually, they're awesome. Not only donuts,
They are unique.
their
There's only one.
their sandwich and soup is fabulous.
Best donuts.
Pretty good.
I'm gonna say Donut Mill.
Plug.
Sweet.
Gnarly. Didn't you go like way up north for Breakout West or something one time, and it was like a whole
Oh,
it was
yeah.
like daylight for like 3 days or something
That was
like
in Yukon. I think that's Whitehorse.
Yeah.
There you go.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why are you looking at me?
Yeah, you should know. You have glasses.
Oh, yeah.
you're
You should know
you're
geography.
That's right. I forgot that's how it works.
But yeah, that was a nice little town, I guess. It's like in a small little river valley for the most part. So it's kind of like downtown Edmonton, or I guess it's kind of like, yeah, down. I guess it'd probably be closer to Calgary because downtown Calgary's like by the river.
Yep.
But then just imagine that it's like the biggest building is like a Safeway. So it's just a lot of
Yeah.
little small things, but it's cool because it's like up in the mountains and it was all snowy and shit. So
That is cool. I've never been anywhere further north than like Grand Prairie in Canada. Like I've never been up to the northern provinces.
no, me either.
So that's kind of interesting.
well, it's cold and snowy, so
And you get like there's a couple parts a year where you get all daylight for like a few days or like all dark
Yeah, in the
for
summer.
a few days, right?
Yeah, in the summer.
That's trippy, man.
no, it's just randomly sprinkled throughout the year. Today is a
Oh,
full
today
day.
is the 3-day Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they also have the inverse where it's night for like a month perpetually or something.
It's basically what it's like here.
Kind of cool.
We
In
have
the-
a couple hours.
Yeah, middle of winter, it's like
Yeah.
what, sun goes down at like 3 or some shit.
Yeah.
34.
I mean, it starts setting. It's not down until like 4.
That's depressing. You wake up and drive to work and it's dark out, and then when you leave, it's dark.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst, dude. No
Like
wonder
if you don't
it's
if you don't
seasonal.
work outside or whatever, you're just like inside, no sunlight.
I mean, it's a thing.
Sucks.
That's seasonal depression.
That
Yep.
sucks.
Yeah.
Bro.
Well, damn.
Cool
Maybe
story, Dan. So
Maybe
what-
I should.
What kind of guitar were you thinking
I
of
don't
financing?
because I just got on the fucking. I don't know what they're called.
An electric
The
guitar.
beluga guitar. No, that's like ballad.
Baby beluga.
I don't even know.
Sitting in the sea.
But they have like a. I don't know if you guys ever saw that back in the day. There was like a guitar. Oh, was it Warmoth had like a guitar generator thing, so
Oh,
you
yeah.
could like build your perfect guitar.
I did that many
customers
times.
We were fucking with. I used to do that like every day. I'd be like, oh, I'd make a new one, and then never bought one.
Yep.
Excuse me, but yeah, I just saw this website that has like you can build guitars on this particular brand's website.
Like your own custom shape and shit?
Balladura or something. Well, you pick from the body shapes, and then you can go through and like select all your stuff. So it's sort of like a
Sounds like
guitar.
It's assembling it for you.
Yeah, and then, so and then it can be like custom or whatever. And it's like, yeah, obviously I built a sick fucking guitar. And then it was like, this is $2,500, and I was like,
shit.
fuck, I can't justify buying that. I already have a guitar.
Yeah.
Can't imagine what it'd be like to buy another guitar.
You need at least 7 guitars.
Is that how many you have?
I only have 2, and I only
Yes.
use one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm considering. I'm kind of wanting to get a bit of balance going on and get myself the white version of the guitar I have now.
If you had more guitars,
Yeah.
you'd use them though.
Well, the thing is, I want the Evertune.
Yeah.
I want the super tuned guitar because that'd be great for recording, and it would also be great for just I don't have to fucking retune my Floyd Rose guitar every time I want to use it.
Yeah.
Although it stays in tune okay, but it's like I don't know. Evertune sounds like pretty cool.
Simon's got an Evertune, hey?
Does he?
I think so. Yeah. He's got, or some kind of like super tuned bridge or something. I don't know.
It's probably an Evertune.
Apparently, it's supposed to never ever.
Yeah, that's
go out of
that's
tune.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently
I
it's-
can fucking make it go out of tune. Trust me.
Apparently, there's like ways to you can like set it up so you can do like bends and shit, or you can have it like super strict, like no matter what you do, even if you bend the string, it stays in tune, which is fucking crazy.
It's crazy.
I know, right?
Especially
'Cause
with Floyd Rose's like recording bends with a Floyd Rose can be like fuck.
Yeah, well, I find that I like the Floyd Rose feel because there's some give in the bridge, right? The bridge raises up when you bend,
True.
little bit,
Yeah.
but it can also be a little worse for like if you're playing hard on it, or if you accidentally like are resting your hand too much, it'll get everything out of tune.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways,
Crazy.
so yeah, maybe I'll get a new one. We'll see.
Grabbing a new
We'll
axe, are ya?
see. Hard to say. Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably buy a wireless mic instead.
You could,
That I'll never fucking use.
Oh, you sure?
Bro, you gotta get a wireless mic so I don't have to step on your cable. Bro, only wired is true.
What's that been thing for? Trying to get Dan to get a wireless mic.
Forever.
Well, I mean, we've rented
How long
them
has the
on tour
band
and
been a
stuff.
thing?
I remember like the one microphone I had, the wireless one was like on the fritz, and I'm pretty sure it's because I sweat so hard into it. Like on tour, just being like,
Yeah, sure.
Because I was like the tour where I was wearing like a leather jacket on stage, and it was like so sweaty that it was just like pouring out of my sleeves. And I just think I think it like
dude.
slowly just destroyed that mic, or just like I don't know. It was fucking gross.
Dan's
man.
arm is just a fire hose.
Dude, yeah, that's fucking gross. It's like the leather jacket.
Spraying the
It's
crowd.
cool. It's fun to wear, but it's like so fucking hot on stage.
Oh,
Man,
yeah,
I
dude.
went to see Stryker and he did the Ozzy Osbourne thing where they shoot water out of a
Shot
hose. It's like, no,
wet.
man, it's just his jacket.
It's our sweaty singer.
Well, I left that jacket in a parking lot somewhere because
Yeah,
it was
you had
so fucking gross. It was just like I sweated it for like a month straight, and it's like, how do you even clean that? You like got to get it dry cleaned or something? I was like, this is like $100 jacket.
Burn it.
Wasn't that in Europe and like everybody left their jackets in like a parking lot like at the last show?
What
We're
a
just like, fuck
strange
this,
thing.
we're
Someone,
out.
someone like pulled up, and they're like just a
Five
bunch of like
jackets.
gross leather jackets like on the fucking
smell?
on a post. I guess in hindsight we could have just thrown it in the garbage somewhere, but I don't know.
You mean you just left it on the ground?
Yeah, like by the end of tour, you're like so fried, and you're no longer a normal person. You have like complete mental illness going on
Yeah.
by the end of tour that you're just like, this is fine. I'll just leave this here. Someone might want it. Like someone might want this, so I'll just leave it here.
Some homeless person might like this.
Ugh.
It was pretty nasty. So yeah,
Sweet.
Sweet.
touritis. The tour, you're no longer. It's a weird thing, man. Like after you're on tour for long enough,
Yeah.
you start to feel
Not
like a normal person.
A full month of poor nutrition, hangovers, and no sleep catches up.
And like high highs and then low lows.
Crippling highs, crippling lows.
Yeah, well, you play live, and it's like
Crippling
it's so
mediums.
exciting.
Yeah.
and then the rest of it is like so boring.
But that's like, an hour of your day
Yeah,
at most.
and I'm like so bad at like filling that time with stuff that's productive. It's like
No.
I'm just gonna,
Hannah
like-
C. Palmer, very productive.
no,
Tina Louise.
no. It's just like, well, I mean, like we got into like playing Hearthstone, and like you turn into experts at playing fucking Hearthstone, like total fucking nerds.
Yeah, you can get Fortnite on your phone.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, we got into it. Like it was, Chris and I got into the fucking
Fish game?
fish game, which is just like slots on
Yeah.
your phone or whatever, and it, like every day it'll give you like a certain amount to basically fake gamble with,
Yeah.
and we got so into that. I'm like, and then we're thinking like, shit, man, like I might be able to go to the casino and win some money now. But then you don't realize like how much you've lost.
Oh, yeah.
Just like anything like that, where you're just like, yeah, I don't know. But I see a lot of that shit popping up now. Like you can do all these like free to play. I think they get people hooked,
Sure.
and then they start spending money on it.
Well, that was my first thought. It's like, oh, you only get a certain amount every day. I know for a fact I'd be like, okay, I'll spend $5 and be able to like.
Yeah, see, I
double that
never
amount.
did that. I
Yeah.
was too smart.
Nah.
Too smart for these guys.
You got to be way more dumber.
Cell phone casino apps is what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
It's just like it's
Sounds
like
dangerous.
playing a fake slot game. It's kind of fun, you know, like whatever. It's amazing what you find fun after spending like 10 hours a day in a fucking van.